We're now going to move on to the second part of the first island.
Wait, I didn't know this was co-op.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's RZX with Captain Turbo on HG Central for part 3 of Crash Bandicoot. We took care of the remainders of the first island, part of the second island, and Ripperoo. And now we get to the, well, the nitty-gritty of this game, where it starts to get a little ridiculously unfair.
Oh yeah, this is definitely the point I rage quit a lot when I was a child. Especially at this level.
I don't mean to just kind of rush you're actually speaking for commentary. It's just, yeah, I just thought, hey, I see your voice, but and at least I know you're here. Woo. Those bats gave me a couple troubles a few times, but they're not very that hard. I actually don't know how I got hit there by the bat.
I know, you're actually back in the passage then for a second. You should not have got hit by the bat at all. Sorry, I'm joking on Coca-Cola.
Hey, easy on the Coke, man.
That could be taken the wrong way.
Sorry. I believe that's how Coca-Cola actually got its name, though. Like they way back then, they would put cocaine into cola.
And there was a time for that. I know it was once used for medical purposes as well, but
yeah, it's mostly what I think. It's pretty much the only reason I ever think marijuana should be legalized for is for medical reasons.
I can't stand the smell of it, to be honest.
I can't either.
It makes me physically sick.
Oh, so it's really bad for you then. Yeah, that was a little boneheaded for me to do there. Anyways, but yeah.
Oh, you can get the life.
Yeah, the marijuana, but yeah, I would only legalize it if it's for medical reasons, like if people need to have it because it helps them.
I've got cramp. The people will be coming up with all sorts of excuses to get it though.
Yeah, some of their excuses I don't agree with. It's just ridiculous. It's just the only reason it should be legalized is because it doesn't actually. It's not. There's never been a documented time it's killed anyone, and if it can, it has actually helps people for when they need it for medical reasons. So that's the only reason. If it's just for getting high, then no, I don't agree.
No, I've never agreed with stuff like that. I've gotten high one time, and that was when I was on painkillers because I had two for my back.
Yikes.
It was a fun day. I will admit that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I just could not stop laughing at everything.
So you would just make like are you saying you would just like walk like a meter in a game and then just start laughing?
It wasn't that. It was actually a funny story. My mum was putting the Christmas tree up a few years ago, and I had to take some really strong painkillers because my back just went. It's like a sheet of glass or something in my back. And the painkillers just got to me so badly that I just kept bursting into laughter just every time she was putting the bauble or anything on the Christmas tree.
How did she feel about that?
Oh, she just burst out laughing as well.
Oh, probably because she knew that it was the painkillers.
Oh, she gave me the
anyways.
painkillers for it, so.
Oh, so she knew it was gonna happen anyways.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. This level, like I was mentioning,
Oh, you did well.
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's not terrible, but it's not very good either.
It's actually something that's with the entire game. If you're just going through the game to play it normally, you shouldn't have too many problems. It's when you're trying to get everything, all the boxes for the gems and stuff, that is where this game's going to become unplayable, almost unplayable.
This game already is almost unplayable if you're someone who's trying to do it like a...
Yeah, it's not unplayable.
Yeah, if you're trying to do it like 100%, it's like it's a pain because
there's actually a problem with it because to get everything you need every box, but if you get a continue and then you die, you don't retain any of the boxes that you got before that checkpoint. So
no, like if you the only way you can actually still get a full completion and die is if you don't hit any checkpoints.
Exactly.
It requires you start at the beginning of the level. If you die and you go to a checkpoint, it just takes it away.
Which is why I suppose the password's always there if you need it, just in case you do want to see that extra ending.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only reason to show it off is like, password wise, it's just it saves you
a lot of time,
the pain and hassle.
There are actually 2 extra levels as well if you get the 2 keys, but they're not actually required to beat the game. So
Yeah, I believe apart from dying a few times, I didn't do necessarily too bad on this level.
You are doing really well, actually.
I mean, it's not going to be the case for a couple levels on, but, you know. I didn't
I do
bother.
like that you can see the third island in the background.
Yeah, I like that little touch. Alright, so Temple Ruins is... I like the idea of the...
Epic fail.
That's just a big fail. I like the idea of the level, but this has to be one of the worst cases so far of the camera in the game.
Exactly, this is what I was talking about earlier, where you just don't have any true depth perspective, so...
You got it out eventually.
Yeah. Like I said, I need to stop taking the call so quickly.
I stutter a lot, so I kind of just go with it, because there's not really much I can do about it. Like, people think, oh, you should probably stop stuttering, you really should think of the words you say. You see, I kind of can't, because it's just part of my condition. Yeah, yeah. I was able to confirm that it is part of my condition, because a friend of mine who I know who has the same condition I do also stutters, so...
I don't usually do it very often, so...
Yeah, and people don't really care anyways, because as long as you can get out what you're saying and not just, throughout the entire video like that, then it's fine.
But you probably saw there a few minutes ago, those platforms that keep going up and down, they really show off the issues with this level in terms of design.
This is where I got confused with the level.
Ah, you thought there was that extra part over there to the left,
I
didn't you?
the first time around, I didn't actually see the circle platform on the other side. Yeah, like, I didn't actually realize it was there until I went back to it and I was like, oh, that's where you're supposed to go.
I know in one of the temple levels, there's a point where you can actually just walk across the floor. I thought that was what you was going for there.
Yeah, pretty much. What I will say I like about this game, though, is usually if you stop moving and you're trying to land on something, you'll usually just always stick the landing, unless it's like a slope.
And you finally saw it. Ooh, nearly fell off you though.
Yeah.
And you can actually walk off it by accident if you're not too careful.
Yeah, I know you can.
I'm just telling everyone that's watching.
Well, that's true.
Because in the second and the third one, as soon as you go onto a platform like that, you will be locked on, but you can't walk off.
Yeah, I should also mention here, like,
At least you got the checkpoint.
At least I got that. I should also mention that for this part 3, and for the all the rest of the parts, I'm just gonna. This is when I was actually just keeping it recording at 30 frames per second, because part 1 and 2 was at 60, and it was a little bit choppy because of that. I mean, OBS isn't perfect with my current graphics card setup, but it still works very well. I don't get any slowdown when I play.
I think it just depends on what game you use it for as well.
Yeah, that could be another reason. But
Ooh, that was close.
yeah, but you know, I think personally playing it back, it's good.
It's definitely aged the worst of the three, though.
No, I'm not talking about like
oh,
that.
Right.
I know it has. I'm talking about like how the actual video played back from recording
quality.
it.
I'm on your same wavelength now.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good though, so I'm not complaining.
To be honest, I don't really go in for all that frames and stuff, so...
Yeah, that platform confused me for a bit, because I kept thinking you had to jump to get on it, when it turned out you didn't even have to do that. You could just walk onto it.
Again, it's another depth perspective that the game suffers from.
Yeah.
It seems to be really these temple levels that get it the worst as well.
Yeah, it's why I'm glad that when Crash 2 and 3 came out, they actually took a lot of time to actually prevent that from being a repeat offender.
Not to say that the sequels didn't have their own problems, but at least they cut down on most of them.
There was and yes, there's supposed to be 3 lives there, but I died there when I got there, so...
I thought lives only disappeared if you opened the boxes and then died and came back to that same place again.
Lives disappeared. Yeah, that's what happened. I got the lives there, I died, and they just turned to regular boxes. Alright, here's where I break the
worst level.
Here's where I break the game.
Oh, the worst level trope in the game, I should say. Really don't like these at all.
You'll see how I break the game.
I know how you're going to break the game.
I did fail a few times.
I tried to do the exact same thing in my Let's Play. And there you go.
That's all you gotta do. You just broke one of the worst levels in the game. It's the problem with this is it's just it's the fact that you have such very little you can actually land
Space,
on.
yeah.
Like you have to be so precise about it.
Plus, you need to make sure you're going straight forward as well when you actually get onto the rope.
Yeah, and the one thing I won't understand is why can't you actually kill the hog? It's like he can kill tribesmen, he can kill turtles, he can kill like ninja-like lizards, but he can't kill a simple hog.
Maybe he made a deal with that hog that you were riding earlier, not to kill his family.
Yeah, but then he kills you. So.
Oh well, it's gonna be passive. But yeah, I do think these are the worst levels in the game by far.
I don't understand what we were trying to go for this. It's just, if they gave you more breathing space, then I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care if they had these levels. But the fact that they gave you such little space is where it became a huge problem.
The second one's definitely the worst, though.
And I still have to actually get to that one.
Thankfully, there is only 2 of them, though.
That is good, at least. I just hope that they're just like this one, I can break the level. I mean, I'm sure some will be saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing that. It's just you're just wasting the point of level." Well, I'm sorry, but this is one of the worst levels in the game.
No, I don't blame you whatsoever for doing this.
Yeah, and it's probably a method speedrunners do because it's faster anyways.
Let's say if I'd have been able to pull it off, I'd have done the exact same thing.
Yeah, as you can see a couple times, I didn't exactly stick the landing very well. It's probably had a lot to do with, again, and I can't believe I keep mentioning this, is the D-pad. It's just so awkward to control with that thing, which is why I'm switching to the DualShock 3 for the next parts that come up, which I still got to do at the time of this recording.
Yeah. You'll have an easier time with that.
Yeah, and once I get, eventually, within a couple months, once it's my birthday and I get birthday money, which I usually do anyways, I will purchase a DualShock 4. Because there is, since thankfully, just like the, yeah, I didn't realize you actually have to hit the turtle, so
well,
I just like, yeah, I'll just break it here again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, just like the DualShock 3, there's software to use the DualShock 4 on a PC to it basically recognizes it's an Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah. And
so
we got the second boulder level.
Boulder Dash. Yeah, I died a few times, but I didn't struggle too much on this.
Like I said, thankfully they are made easier in the sequel, so.
Yeah, that is true. But, yeah,
actually,
I just...
Sorry, carry on.
I actually forgot what I was going to say now.
Sorry, I keep doing that to you, don't I?
I know, I do. I hate it.
I was just going to say, we've talked a bit about the, obviously the PlayStation Crash games. I'm just wondering if you'd played any of the PS2 or anything past that.
I have played the Wrath of Cortex. I do enjoy that quite a bit.
Yeah, so
some people are mixed up. Some people are mixed on it. I thought it was pretty good. The only problem is at least with the PS2 version, the loading times and that is absolutely dreadful.
I do actually like the game though. I actually think it gets a bit of a bad reputation for some reason.
It does get a bad reputation. I thought it was a great game.
I played Wrath of Cortex, and I also had Twin Sanity as well, which wasn't too bad.
I had Twin Sanity, but I never got far into it for one reason. The one time I remember properly playing that game, it froze on me.
Alright, it's not a terrible game. It definitely is where the Crash games began to get very different though from what
it was after Twin Sanity where it started to go really downhill. And then we don't have to we don't talk about Crash of the Titans or Mind Over Mutant. We just don't.
Unfortunately, Crash has sort of been left behind now these days.
I blame Activision for picking them up because they're just a company that just doesn't do anything with them. Yeah, I was too late at that point.
I would love to see another Crash game in the same manner of the second and third game.
Though I never think though I don't imagine it'll ever happen. I really want to see Naughty Dog try to go back to get the rights of the game again.
Well, to be honest, you don't really need to. I mean, they've got a lot of popular franchises now with Uncharted and The Last of Us and all that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Uncharted, I love Uncharted, even though I haven't played it much. From what I have played, it was really fun.
I've not played any of them. I don't own a PS3, so.
Yeah, and I've never played The Last of Us, so I can't say anything about that.
I've watched Let's Plays and stuff, but obviously never played it myself.
Yeah. Oh, right.
no,
Sunset
no.
Vista. You know, Windows Vista was a very terrible level.
I forgot, it wasn't the last city where I actually started to rage quit, it was here. How the hell did you survive?
I don't know. I just got very lucky there. Except not there.
Oh no. The game realised you should have died and made you die anyway.
Yeah, Sunset Windows Vista, as I call it. It's just...
This is where it cranks up to 11 in terms of difficulty.
I swear to God, I was probably doing this for at least over an hour.
I can believe it. Hell, with the use of save states, it just took me at least half an hour as well.
Ugh, God, it was so bad. Because the problem is there are way too many areas for bad hit detection. The
level goes on so long as well, anyway.
And it's way too long for a level at this stage in the game.
We're not even on the third island yet.
Yeah, like, oh shit, I thought I was on the third island.
Nope.
Oh God, then I'm not looking forward to that. But yeah, yeah, it's just, I can if they kept this around the end of the game to have a level like this long, I'd understand that. This early on to the game, though, no.
Yeah, you're only about at the halfway point at this point, so, well, a little bit over, but
no, I'm not even at. I don't even think I am at the halfway point.
You're about an island and a half in, aren't you?
What into the actual game?
Yeah.
I'd roughly say this was probably the halfway point because
the thing is, like you said,
this
is definitely a end game type of difficulty to this level.
Yeah, there's like 32 levels in the game, and I think this was up to the halfway point. So, because you know, it's I wouldn't be surprised if there is another half after this. Yeah. It's just, I love the scenery for the level. I love the idea for it.
It looks great. I'm not gonna knock its design.
Yeah, I know, but like earlier, it's just, they just did such a terrible job with the idea with this level.
Difficult with the levels placement.
Yeah, the difficulty spike is way too high on this. And then it gets a little worse here and coming up in a bit. I didn't really have much trouble with these kind of platforms except for one that you'll see later on. But, in fact, it was so bad I had to actually cut out some of that. Yeah, this was the problem here. That jump has just an absolutely god-awful collision detection.
Oh yeah, I fell into that plenty of times.
Like, I understand, like, you know, you're so used to just tapping the button and not, whereas really if you just hold it a bit you jump higher. Even when holding it, it's hard to get on that. It was just a pain to do. In fact, I almost died there, but that platform was there to help me, and then I almost did that.
Going for the boxes.
Yeah. I don't even know why I bothered for those boxes, to be honest.
Since you're not going for the gems.
Yeah, it's
really...
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, it is really helpful if you can actually have like one of the masks to help you out in this level.
Yeah. Too bad I didn't really take good advantage of it, as you'll probably see. Oh God, I can't. It's just.
Thing is, you're only about halfway through this level at the moment as well.
Yeah, it's just way too long. For a level that's only about halfway into the game, it's just, there's no reason it needs to be this long.
It's not even just the length as well, it is actually fairly difficult as well.
As you saw there.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it can be done with timing, but like these blocks that keep pushing out and stuff, as well as your platforms underneath, this is really hard. I mean, how long did that take to go back in? About 20 seconds.
Yeah. It's like, why would you want to wait that long for like coming out of a checkpoint? They should have done it so like you come out and then if you go right away, you got the best timing for it, and not like waiting like 20 seconds. My Skype is going crazy right now. But oh well, I'm not too worried about that because it's not going to pick up on my actual recording.
And besides, we've only got about 5 minutes left anyway.
The only time something picked up in my actual recording was during the Papu Papu in part 1. I didn't realize Facebook was gonna go off at that time. So when it did, I just, for the next parts, I closed it so it couldn't go off.
Facebook. I haven't used that in about 4 years.
I need to stop using it because it's just getting really bad.
I honestly, I sign in maybe 2 or 3 times a year just to see if I've got any messages, and that's it.
I'd be surprised if you actually did, considering how long. And yeah, you can see I did like a cut there because it took me at least 3 minutes or something just to get the pattern of that down. I didn't want to wait that long for it.
And you died to the enemy.
Yeah, that I did.
I think these red ones, you can only jump on top of them, can't you?
Yeah, and then I screwed up the timing on that because I wanted to hit that, but I missed. And then here's another bad depth perception. It's just trying to know where he is, because when you're actually about to pick him up, he gets blocked by the pillar there. It's like, was that a really smart choice? Because I don't think it was, even for 1996.
Like I say, obviously the game has a lot of historical value, it has a lot of nostalgic value as well, but to anyone that's coming in to play this for the first time nowadays, probably would not enjoy this one as much as 2 or 3. Or even just platformers in general.
Yeah, it's like at the same... Super Mario 64 came out at the same time this game came out, so it was around the same year, and you know that's held in well regards because, you know, it was one of the first games to really properly do it right.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan of Mario 64, but I am one of the very few people that think that.
Not everybody's huge on the game, so I'm not going to hold it against you.
Yeah, I'm one of those few weirdos that is not a fan of Mario 64.
I've never completed the game, so, you know.
Neither have I.
Like, you know, people can just chew at me for that I never did.
Oh, we probably will get chewed for that if anyone watches this.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people are not as crude about it. But, just, I don't know.
Yeah, this is definitely one that's not aged well at all.
No. Some people hate that term too, has not aged as well, because people argue, well, technically no game has aged as well because of how games have advanced in
I call bull crap on that, because the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES is still a perfectly good game to pick up and play.
Yeah, like, to me, it's like, you can't argue that all games have not aged well just because of the hardware reasons. Like, when you say games that have aged well, it's more like games that were from another time that even you could still go back to modern days and still say that this game is still a lot of fun.
I mean, Crash 2 came out less than a year, and I would still say that's a perfectly good game despite its age.
Yeah, Crash 2 and 3 are tremendous games. I can't argue against that.
So yeah, I do think that whole argument about games, you can't say games not aged well because of technical reasons, is a bunch of bullshit.
Like, the way I'd see it, Crash 3 would be top 10 material for me. Crash 2 would probably be just maybe even slightly below that. But then Crash 1, top 50? I mean, I
wouldn't put it in the top 50 at all.
I don't know. I don't know if maybe I'm just being too kind on it for its age, but I don't know. I don't really care.
I've always said the historical value should not have any precedent on your opinion of a game. It should just stand on its own merits.
It's just, you like what you like. And Koala Kong, not a particularly terrible boss, but definitely has some of the worst music in the game, in my opinion.
Which is why I'm glad I've got the video on mute. I can't actually hear the music.
Oh, you don't like this music in this level?
No,
either,
I just can't hear the music anyway. It's just I don't pick up on my headphones, that's all.
But yeah, personally, this is one of the worst tracks in the entire game.
Unfortunately, it's one of the easiest bosses. It just takes time.
Yeah, like, I died quite a few times, but only because I was trying to get used to the actual timing.
You can actually just spin into the ones he throws at you, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying in case anyone watching this does play the game eventually for the first time.
Yeah. Like, you can technically spin for any rock he throws at you if you time it right, but except for there, I was actually starting to get the time. I always knew that just slightly after he throws it, just jump over it and you'll be fine.
I don't think you ever see this guy again until one of the Crash Kart games.
I don't think he ever did.
It might have been Crash Bash actually. I think he made another appearance, but not in one of the platformers.
No, like honestly, when it comes to Crash, like except for this one, really, just you should get Crash 2, 3, Team Racing, and Bash, and then Wrath of Cortex is good, and then
maybe Twin Sidey.
I also tended to like Nitro Kart, but after that, don't bother. Anyways, stay tuned for the next part on YouTube and GamingOne.com. Take care, guys.
Later.